All right, guys, let's check on the shares of Apple. Apple, of course, really the center of the market universe today because they've got this really big event this afternoon in California. You can see the shares were up, but maybe a couple of bucks, unchanged right now. We're expecting to get our first look at that new iPhone. There's a couple of new models, even though that we could also see, by the way, a giant-sized iPad. Tech watcher Shana Glenzer is with us. And Shana, sounds like sounds like they've got some pretty good stuff in the pipeline, but we're used to them really dazzling us. What do you think this time?
We are used to Apple pulling out all the stops in these announcements, and we're looking at this specific announcement for three different kind of key features. One is the iPhone, the new iPhone, updated iPhones. The second and the big one is Apple TV refresh, new Apple TVs. And then third, which is kind of a question mark, is whether they release the iPad Pro, which is that much larger sized iPad. So that's what we're watching today from this announcement.
What about a new iPhone would make me want to run out there and buy it this Christmas? What would I need to do as a consumer who had the most recent version?
Yeah, I think that we're trying to make it just an easier experience for you, kind of announcing this Force Touch, which is a sensitive screen. So when you're in any app, you can quickly push down on the screen and it will give you shortcuts. So easier navigation on your phone, less of a hard time getting back and forth. The other thing, for selfie lovers out there, you have the front-facing flash. So every selfie will be a perfect one, even in the dark. And so they're announcing some camera upgrades, including this front-facing flash. I know, Charles, how much you love your selfies. So maybe that will do it for you. And then also a rose gold color, which also would suit you very well.
I think I like the rose gold more than the. I haven't taken a selfie yet. My goal is never to take one, or at least lose 25 pounds before I take one. I want to ask you about the corporate side of this because it's not getting a lot of press, but it's something I watch very closely as an Apple shareholder. Over the last month, they cut a deal with Cisco. They cut a deal with IBM. And a lot of folks are saying this big, giant tablet you're talking about is designated or designed specifically to get that corporate market. If they can get the corporate market, we're talking about a lot of money.
We absolutely are, and that is the focus with this iPad Pro. It's bigger. It could be a replacement for, and a much better tablet for education, for schools, for colleges, and then also in enterprise. I think you're seeing already kind of in the startup culture the shift that all companies are using Macs or MacBooks in their offices, and I think that this is a big play, which you've been watching from Apple, to move into the enterprise market.
All right, Shana, you told us all the goodies. Now, are we going to be wild? It's the stock has given up its gains already, so obviously there's a lot of tension in the air.
There's a lot of tension in the air. I think what people are watching is how Apple announces specifically with the Apple TV, because it's been a market that they've struggled in. They've not had the wow launches like they've had and the success that they have with iPhone and iPad around this Apple TV. So if they're able to nail it, which they're trying to do by announcing this third-party app store, just like they did for the iPhone, if they can nail this, it will be big market share for them in this streaming and TV set in your living room.
All right. Thanks a lot, Shana. We'll see.